Hold on, I gotta fix something. Okay, now we're good to go. Welcome to Brady's Attorney, where this is a collection of 2 games. Special contents, we have 8 game styles, clothing, which doesn't come out until phase of 32. Escapades, artillery and boundary stuff.
The Empire of Japan, after opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Indeed. Adventure of the Great Departure. November 22nd, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants and Chamber 5. I still can't believe it. Still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? Turn that off. Not like that. I think I missed something. What? Oh! No, nothing! Save your glare, murderer! How about that innocent until proven guilty? That's how it should go, but no, it's guilty until proven innocent. Like that has ever made any lick of sense. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke. I always pronounce this wrong. Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke no Horo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 2 years ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes. Until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right? Ryunosuke? Oh! Yes, of course! Sorry! What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. Great, Kazuma. I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. So, I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Not for good reason, though. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? No, of course not! You have to believe me, I didn't do it! I could never murder someone! Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up, hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. He's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive, considering he's still an undergraduate. That's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old, in Japan anyway. Your qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. Proud to have a friend like you, Cosmo. Truly. 3 days ago. Yes. That's when all of this started. Congratulations, Cosmo! It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last! It's totally his own. I know! I've been forever dreaming of this day! Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. See, you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud, as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Cosmo's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. More way than one. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. If only. Then come with me! We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together! If only it were that simple. If only. Oh dear, look at the time! I better be going. Alright, see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Lydia, after all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Professor! I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now, Asogi. You should go immediately to the Judge's chambers. His Excellency's chambers? Why? I was looking for you before. You advocating for defense in this trial of a sudden decision. Seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. See you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. This is awkward. If I may... Yes, sorry! You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right! My name is Yujin Migotova. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yuma University. Ah, Professor Migotova. I've heard of that name from Cosmo before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Cosmo studying abroad. For other reasons? Sylvia has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know... Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, If you should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? As I suspected, you're unaware of this. I had a feeling Asugi may have chosen not to tell you. He agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has chosen from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. Normally, in Ace Attorney games, the first trial takes with you about an hour or so. But in this game, it's not taking an hour. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You will soon understand once proceedings get underway. But, what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Of course not. Right, so... As soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will that question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. And the team are how do you say this word? Are suspicious. My God, what is this? How do you say this word? Surreptitious discussions are about to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as a defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? I'm pretty sure that is a thing. Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. Fuck you! This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea what lay ahead, I embarked on an unforgettable trial. My one and only chance to prove my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny! November 22nd, 9 a.m., Supreme Courtroom of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Oh, this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of What is with these words? A hard judicature. No court in the land has more power. In Japan, anyway. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in a public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now, you need to concentrate on this game. It's about to begin. Court will now hear the trial of Ryusuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do, I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. Why are you raising your hand? What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryusuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What?! What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything. Just now, before a trial. Did what? He said that your dream of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have full faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly! Exactly what I wasn't thinking! I'm not confident at all! In fact, my mind's a complete blank! I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetuated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of The Supreme Court of Japan! I am not saying that word again because I can't freaking say it. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, you can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Yes! Currently state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Here's troll questions here that I want to save. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But, wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that! What was it again? Ryusuke. Let me guess, your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that! It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of a button. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press RB for court record. I just have to press the button for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people. The same button. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, press B to go back. This is the victim. So remember, everything you do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you better not keep the Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record and press Y to present. Try it now.
Yes!
Oh, let's see what I was going to do there. The victim was other than Kazuma Sogi. Ow! Then why is that pompous-looking boy with the billing headband still there sitting next to you? Oops. Oops doesn't do that justice. Not content with having killed Dr. Wilson, now you're claiming my murder as well? I haven't killed anyone! Then concentrate and actually read the court record before you answer! I must say, you are not instilling the court with much confidence here. Quickly, give him the correct answer before he turns the scalpel on you! Find the victim in the pit. Okay, we're doing it. Victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of the esteemed member of your own university. Who's visiting now? Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yuma University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. Indeed, we killed one of Britain's, and one of Britain's own was apparently murdered by Japanese. If that turns out to be true, that there could be a war on our hands. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at Imperial Yuma University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education? Have you no honor? I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual I can't speak! These peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. I just threw out a bag of garbage. Well, he's coming out to defend, so you better check everything. Fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh, good time. I better be going. In the continuation of the scene from earlier. Who's Empire? Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose the next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did the professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. Cause of death? Well, obviously, that was, Ernest K. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed by evidence. Evidence? But how? Court record, court record, court record. Find a piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now.
Yes!
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it? Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in autopsy. In Japan, it works differently. You just look at the body and guesstimate from there. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern such scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. Court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something you've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to prepare and to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls the first witness, who was there to see the crime when it happened. This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. Professor? You mean Dr. Rikotoba? Yes, clearly, you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course! When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kaiba Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is rein in on that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. If only you can rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Witness, state your name and occupation before the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at Western Star restaurant called Le Carnival. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. Doesn't really bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become quite a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants. An accidental injury 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you'll kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from this boring lawyer, boy. Please? So, preferring maybe, but aspiring? It's just after 2 p.m. on that day in question. We have a few diners at that time of day. Lunchtime rush was over, and there are only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory there too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A good gunshot rang out. So I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was an accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur! But the next time you interrupt at an appropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Norohodo. Don't worry, Norohodo. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand, it was the same man we see in court today? Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Wait, what did you just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, you think? That's just not right! When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I had been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryusuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I never have gone to you. I never have gone you, mate. You may see otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. If there is something I want to say, I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say it! Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I am sure of it. There's a lady sitting with him at the same table. Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Kusunaga-san, are there any chances you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look at me. Like to? Let me see. Sketch of your Falcon's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add the court record as evidence. Well, is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once! Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. Oh, the court has now heard a precis of the case. Before we continue on with that, we have to examine this. Oh, not until we learn how to flip. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, one person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we're looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some reprieve. You may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you're determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Give up give up your freedom just because it looks grim? Terrible way to go. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual about these particularities. You said it, Professor Tobin said it, so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then as a defense lawyer, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Ouchie, please continue proceedings. Well, you were warned. Young can be so reckless. You know, many people call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Ayesa Nosa. Reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I am employed as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble purposes, the second district. Kurio Korikuta. At your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. One unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon. And, not infrequently, converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. Means he likes to talk to other people about his antiques. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir! This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. So, this is decisive evidence the prosecution wasn't threatening. The soldiers claiming they actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You'll say everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at a restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a fire was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on an English civilian, and from the back, cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Old man wasn't even paying attention. And, I don't think he has it. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed a vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in, when English gentlemen may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Who's gonna prove? And you're gonna be the one to prove it. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes. All I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, bang! Well, if that's the truth, there's obviously a criminal on scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryusuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there's no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimonies of the court as just heard eliminate any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean, the defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects! This is clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you may think he's capable of it is irrelevant. That was so commanding. Very well. Let me defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins for Ryusuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Is it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire a gun, which means that what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing it is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryusuke! Don't let them beat you! Alright then. It's all or nothing. Let's see. I think this is where we present it. I just gotta save, just to be safe.
Objection!
What? What are you pointing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache? Inconsistency, sir! I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense? What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I don't know what to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there's no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Iesa Nosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired an Englishman civilian. And from the back, coward little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
But no, that just can't be! And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Ah. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, what the? What was that? Something just popped out from behind his back. We push it down again. Certainly, this is clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that will appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard a fire discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Yesenosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. I should have done that. I didn't even do that. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That Yuzuri cadet there. He's pointing a firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
I never fired the gun! All I did is pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? I don't think I was paying any attention to him. Myself, I've already been quite clear. The gunshot interests me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure! Treasure? Indeed! A Roy era Kuban! My prize coin! On each occasion when I visit a restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Razute, in the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from me. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I proffered my boy treasure. I believe that he would purchase such a rare find. I did not, but I was presented with little alternative. But and then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. Dokobon vanished? Hunting around near under the table, I was, in case mayhap it had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed, I did. But I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my Scon Hoi treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoi Kaban was lost to me. No doubt, some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subverted our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who possibly could have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. You'll thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nozo family to rise up to the ranks, sir. Named Ido. Ido Nozo. It seems those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped for the nanny. Ido, attention! Your father is about to quell the enemy! Watch and learn, my boy! Even if what I saw was the precise moment to fire this discharge, almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was. That young man in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, gunning all by himself. Okay, be right back. Something I ordered came in. Okay, sorry for the extremely long delay. I got like some like my ears need the cleaning. I got some stuff to do that, and that's what I was doing for the last I want to say hour or something. I'm back now. I'm not saying it's any better, but therefore, no other than the black uniformed cadet could dispatch the Englishman. Over and out.
Yes!
Wait, that's nonsense. victim, Dr. Wilson, was alone at all. Please. Please. Enough of these outbursts already. But there's a woman. There's a young woman on his table. You must have seen her. Right there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. Prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photograph print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by investigator immediately after the incident. It can easily be seen there's only one plate set left. Only one plate set. Fully based on the appearance of this print, it was reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. I don't understand. As you can see, there's some bite marks here. Which means someone took a firm bite of this plate. Which means it's implied that's not his. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. Oh. I saw a woman with him. I'm sorry about that. Or scenes back up. Seeing that we'll be able to telegraph report to Great Britain time after all. The witness testimonies we have just leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political issues, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the Treaty of Great Britain. To think that I, Tasaki Ouchi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? Judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses. We'll make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. I did. Forgive me for the business I'm facing with. The testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on one point. Isn't it interesting? And let's not forget, and contestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table. A meal for one. No. The antique dealer, the surgeon, and the waiter testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea.
Yes!
Okay. Doesn't prove anything. I'm not sure about that one either. Let's try it.
Yes!
Not I did either. There's someone else that was lady there. As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel like I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet no one appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Oh, I wonder why. Or there have been more people dying there at the time. Someone else would have noticed her. Fortunately, it's already past 2 p.m. when it happened. Quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know. Of course the place is always empty. It's what you expect. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency. There was indeed a reason. It was. This was found in Smith's jacket pocket. What was that, Counsel? It's a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to eating the visiting restaurant. A clinic. Yes, there would be. There would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. Oh, the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. Explanation could be more simple. This prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Blue Sky? Well, it's hard to see how it would be great, really. Remember, you can press it for be entered court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for a submission of evidence. Very well. Court will grant the defense's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. Here we have Ouchie wanting the youth to not assert their rights. Officer, finally add the victim's medical report according to the court record. What we need right now is new clues, and we'll find it. As soon as we are able to examine it. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong the show as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for accused, Kurikuda-san. At the current Oh, yes. I can't see that brings any real glimpses to light. I won't be so sure. Let me see that medical report you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. Perhaps we should examine it a little bit more in detail. How exactly? Let's someplace soon and they are back from us. These are the ones to be examined. A, and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use an analog stick to rotate it. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the left analog stick, you can move a cursor. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. Crosshairs start to pulsate. Press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something to learn by examining in more detail. Alright, let's see what I can do. It says Hotel Clinic on his medical report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I got the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had this hideous injection in my right arm. Forget it. Never my whole life. Well, people would give their right arm have only one cold their whole lifetime. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. Looks like this medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. Probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. Kind of a doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one! Well, if you're dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine, they give you painful injections, and then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege! When you're at your lowest ep! You sound like a model patient. A bad case of stubbornness, no less. For which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. But we're not done examining. Because this... Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. And there's an entry for the day Professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It seems so. Just before incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they use laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can be actually stop you from pain. I can attest! And that anesthesia is very good at relieving pain, stopping pain. There's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. With this new information, the meaning of the one particular statement totally changes. Well, I think it's time to listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely! before that, another piece of evidence suddenly becomes important. Wow, that's unexpected. What is... Look, you see... You said it's the witness's name here? Taro Fukunaga? Yes, business cards do tend to show a person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. Job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. But let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somehow here... And that's all we need to get from that. Now, if there's no evidence, we can submit this.
Yes!
Well, I think, about what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could. But first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryusuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I can see quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. We raise your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you know exactly what it is you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for your advice. Kuroko-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on the report card. Sure, what a statement. Something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, dear me. Have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It's after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may have done before that time is completely irrelevant. It's very much relevant. What? That's, remember, Ryusuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced people. There's no else besides pale-faced people who could possibly perpetrate this crime. No. Medical report card has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that? What? That outburst have petrified me, boy! Of course I believe it! How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hoda Clinic, which is issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating? Just what are you trying to say, cadet? Get orders not to eat? So what? Don't run up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, I can't. Kudo-san. What, boy, what? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner. What? What is this nonsense? You little upstart! These are basic accusations! Just look at this photographic evidence! You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table! Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about! Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you! I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. Having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Oh, that would mean me. Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your attorney's trial round. Show what you're made of! Got it, so, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... That doesn't seem right. Yeah, it's wrong. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table. Do not let this go, will you? There was no such person. There was because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice in pursuit of fair retrial, relentlessly. Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have an issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrative evidence that the victim was not alone. So if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you'll be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you'll also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! Negative! There was no mention of this at the TACO meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw a gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Kurokuda-san? No. You were just following orders? Now hold on, lad. I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim of a lady from overseas? What? What? What's the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue! Order! Counsel, explain what's going on here! Painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth! Absolutely not! prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryusuke, judging from the ways they're reacting to this, I say they're sworn to silence by someone of considerable influence. However, I don't believe Aochi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. Not even the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. But one of these guys is the military. Well, any ideas on who might be behind this? If we confirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was who tried to make witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it was really did wield her power here. But how? How could we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. Way ahead of you, Kazuma. I want answers! If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please. Wait, Your Excellency. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing! And what does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency. There's nothing to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout the first thing that comes to my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is...
Yes!
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter took a stand earlier? Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were? Come on, Ryusuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity, as proven by this evidence. Plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree. It shows a great deal of attention to detail. I'm not sure we can include anything. Sorry, I can see. That's the back of the card. The back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited state is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of the business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. What profession? That's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before! Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power. Absolute power, as far as regular citizens are concerned. Civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there to stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So, you mean to say you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course. Your Sally must be terrible. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes. There have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga. But you'll elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. Victims had slumped in a chair. Beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? Me to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue the idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishwoman has been murdered on our soil. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishman as primary suspect? Well, without refutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. It's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yuma University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for an overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed a woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. And the court demands you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the professor's table was a certain Miss Jezebel Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yuma University's medical faculty. What's happening here? I admit that, under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with this situation. Very well. I thought on the matter as follows. As follows, the case related to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise, namely that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a disgrace of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But, Your Excellency, that would mean missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such actions. Calm yourself, Council. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate the justice brat and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you're given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem. Nothing will get in my way. We'll adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency! Good, then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Since I took a time of the year before, I'm going to end here. I should be fine to continue to stream again tomorrow. I think on the docket I have like Kingdom Hearts or something. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts tomorrow. So I'll do it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow for Kingdom Hearts. Have a great night.